All right, this is my small propane forge, and it is in need of a relining. So I thought I would take you all along for the ride as I went through the process of putting a new liner in it. So you can see this liner here. This is kaowool lined with a refractory cement, and you can see the refractory is pretty fragile anyway, and the longer it stays in there, the more fragile and crusty it's going to get. But this is just really, really bad. So all of this old refractory and kaowool needs to come out, and I'm gonna put a new liner in it, a complete new kaowool liner, and I may actually go 2 layers of kaowool this time and kind of compress it before I line it with the refractory. But take this fire brick out, and you can see that my forge is extremely simple. It's just a piece of pipe with 2 nipples. This nipple here was for like a Burns-O-Matic torch. I never really used it much, but this is a standard. I think that's 1.5 inches diameter, and that matches the outside diameter of my burner here. This is a Ron Rail style burner, and I'm going to be gentle because the flare end here is starting to get a little crusty, but it still works. So I'll lay the burner to the side and take my little adjustable work rest out. And so I have a big piece of I-beam that my forge sits in, which it acts like a heat sink. It allows me to sit the forge on this wooden bench top here, this little mobile forge cart, and it doesn't burn it. And I've run this thing for hours, and it never gets hot enough down here to really do any damage. But this is a piece of ceramic kiln brick in the bottom, and I'll take it out. And look at that, the whole thing's coming out. So I'm gonna keep that brick because I'll use that again. And you can see, man, this kaowool is some really durable material, because honestly, this is really probably still pretty good. And this has been in here for 15 years. Now, I haven't done just an enormous amount of forge welding in here. I've done some, made some cable Damascus and whatnot, but it's really held up very well for what it is. So I'll leave that there, and I'll get a brush and scrape all that out. I've been using this little forge here since at least the year 2000. And it's really held up well. I mean, it's hard to beat this old Schedule C pipe. It's tough stuff. If I was going to build another one of these just like this again, I would maybe make it a little bit longer. But this one has really held up well. Just some scrap iron was welded to the bottom. I'll take this thing out so you get a look at it. So that's the forge. It's pretty simple. It's very small, but it really does the trick. I'll I'll measure it. So this forge is 8 inches long. The inside diameter is 6 inches, so it's not very big. But I've made hammers in this forge. I've made many knives in this forge. I've used it to make other tools. With the hole in the back, I can pass material all the way through it, and so you can work fairly large stock. It's more of a width issue than it is a length. So anyway, that's my little forge. And I'm going to put a new liner in it, and I'll show you guys that in another video. Thanks.